Welcome to part 2 of negative painting in watercolor. It's time to tell you the truth about part 1. That coloring book story was just a big fib. I really did get a Chatty Cathy doll. In part 2, I'll try to be completely honest. Part 2 will prepare you for a practice painting done in part 3. As silly as it may seem, we'll use pickles of all things for our painting subject. Why pickles? Pickles are notoriously easy to draw. Also, if I goof up while painting a pickle, I won't feel quite so downcast as if I had messed up a picture of a beautiful rose or my great-grandmother's teapot. Imagine that I'm going to paint a pile of pickles looking down from the top of the pile. When I paint a pile of pickles using negative painting, I always start with the pickles that are closest to me and gradually work my way down the pile. The closest pickles are shown in green, and they'll all be created first. The pickles in the middle level, shown in brown, will be created second because they are a little farther away from me than the closest pickles are. And the bottom pickles, shown in orange, will be created last of all because they are farthest away. With a more serious painting subject, such as a still life, a floral, or a landscape, you could have many more levels of depth. But the important point is to start with the parts that are closest to you and gradually work further and further away. Let's look at some important tips about painting technique for negative painting. In part 1 of negative painting in watercolor, I used a common watercolor technique called wet-in-wet painting, in which I first wet the paper with clean water and then added the paint colors. I always chose an edge to define and painted away from that edge. I'll now start calling that edge the lead edge. As the painting progresses, I end up choosing many different lead edges. My practice is to apply clean water away from the lead edge of the moment, taking that clean water far enough away so that no pigment will ever reach the outer edge of the clean water. It works best if I can apply clean water clear to the edge of my paper. Here's what can happen if I don't go far enough with the clean water. I end up creating both the lead edge and an outer edge. Not good. It's tempting to be careless with the clean water step, but if paint flows out there, I can end up with an ugly, ragged edge. I don't want to see any edge out there, but a ragged edge is even worse. Here's what can happen if my water is even slightly dirty. The dirty water creates an edge of its own. For this reason, I always keep 2 containers of water at my side, dirty water for rinsing paint out of brushes, and clean water for the wetting steps. Of course, there's always the possibility that I'll get confused after choosing my lead edge and paint away in the wrong direction. The lead edge typically separates 2 parts of your subject, one which is closer and one which is farther away. Always paint on the side that is farther away. While painting away from the lead edge, don't stop your paint at some other line that you encounter. You are creating just one edge in each step, and that is the lead edge. The paint needs to fade out gradually, so no second edge is created where it doesn't belong. Here is another mistake, filling inside a shape instead of painting away from an edge. All of a sudden, this is positive painting, not negative painting. It should never happen that you end up painting on both sides of a lead edge. If you are about to do it, stop. With these tips in mind, we're ready to work on our pickle painting, and you'll find that demonstrated in Part 3 of Negative Painting in Watercolor.